Hey, y'all, and welcome to Voices Beyond the Pages, the podcast where stories and voices meet. I'm your host, Audrey Shanice, an audiobook narrator who got her start on TikTok, sharing my journey with all its highs, lows, and everything in between. Each episode, we celebrate the voices shaping the storytelling world, BIPOC narrators, indie authors, and the readers who love them. Whether you're here to learn, be inspired, or just feel seen, you're in the right place. Grab a drink and get comfy. You're going to love it here. Hey, y'all. Welcome back to Voices Beyond the Pages. Before I dive in, I just want to take a second to reflect on my experience at Black Romance Book Fest and to thank the organizers for putting on such an incredible event. I can only imagine the amount of hard work, coordination, and sleepless nights it took to make it the success it was. And I'm truly honored to have been part of it. Being surrounded by so many authors, narrators, and readers who genuinely love this genre, it was everything. I got to meet people who've inspired me from afar, connect with fellow narrators who shaped my journey in ways they probably don't even realize, and hug creators who have cheered me on since day one, especially when I didn't feel like I belonged in the room. I had conversations that poured into me. I witnessed the depth, the brilliance, and the heart of this community up close. It reminded me that what we do, what I do, matters. Even on the days when it feels small, it's not. That space held me in ways I didn't know I needed. So, thank you, Black Romance Book Fest. Like so many have said in the past weeks, you owe me nothing. I will always be grateful, especially to have experienced something that meaningful so early in my career. Now, let's get into this episode. I'm going to be real with y'all. I haven't been feeling inspired lately. Not to get out of bed, not to work, not even to record. It's been hard to show up. Motivation has been real quiet, and my energy's been stretched extremely thin. So, instead of forcing something motivational, I wanted to do something a little softer, a little closer to the heart. I want to talk about what Black romance has taught me, not just as a narrator, not just as a creative, but as a woman. As someone still learning how to want, how to receive, how to rest inside of love that feels safe. I remember the first time I read a Black romance story and thought, wait, we get to be loved like this? I found the Serendipitous Love series by Christina C. Jones. I'm a contemporary romance girl through and through. I just remember not being able to put those books down, and it was a 6-book series. It was the very first fictional world that I got completely sucked into. There was just something about seeing those characters experience love that really did something for me. It was tender, it was messy, it was sensual without apology. And for the first time, I realized I didn't have to shrink myself to be held. That my softness wasn't a liability, that it was a language. And these stories spoke it fluently. I fell in love with Black romance that day and never looked back. There are some things that these stories have taught me about desire, about safety, about my voice. I've learned that desire is not something to bury, that Black women can want and be wanted without shame. These stories taught me that desire doesn't make you desperate, that being sensual, flirtatious, or turned on is nothing to hide. I used to think wanting something, someone, too much made me weak. But these stories gave me permission to want fully and still be whole. These stories taught me about safety, that love doesn't have to be earned through struggle, that peace and passion can exist in the same sentence. I grew up thinking chaos was a sign of intensity, that pain was proof of love. Black romance retaught me that softness can be consistent, that the people who love you can create a soft landing, not just emotional earthquakes, and that it's okay to stop choosing survival over serenity. It taught me that my voice, that saying what you need doesn't make you too much, that softness can be powerful, and that sometimes the most radical thing we can do is to ask to be chosen. I used to silence myself to keep peace, to avoid being abandoned, but these stories showed me that voice is power, and I don't have to scream to be heard. I can speak gently, clearly, with intention, and still command the room. That I don't have to wait to be anyone's ideal of perfect. I can be the main character as I am, even when I'm tired, even when I'm healing, even when I'm still figuring shit out. There's no finish line for worthiness. I've carried shame for being flawed, indecisive, inconsistent, but these characters reminded me that all of that can still be lovable, desirable, enough. Narrating these stories has been healing in ways I didn't expect. There were scenes I recorded that felt like letters to the past versions of me. The girl who thought she had to beg to be prioritized. The woman who thought softness was something you had to earn. Lines have stopped me mid-sentence. Not because I couldn't say them, but because I felt them so deeply. Because I wished I'd heard them sooner. Because part of me was still waiting for someone to say it to me first. Sometimes I'm voicing characters who are getting the kind of love I'm still learning to believe in. The kind of love I'm trying to give myself now. And some days, that stings. But most days, it's a reminder that it exists, that I deserve it, that I don't have to play small to be held in full. So no, I don't have a neat takeaway today. No motivational speech, just gratitude. Gratitude for the authors who write us in full color, for the characters who feel like family, for the listeners who remind me that this voice, my voice, even when I don't feel like using it, it matters. And for the stories that hold me when life feels too heavy to carry alone. Until next time, this is Voices Beyond the Pages, the space where stories and voices meet. I hope you already love it here.